again. These nuts. Well, it's hard to believe, but it's almost October. Harvest will be starting soon. And for some guys, it's already started. An older clip here making some room in our bins for this year's crop. Plus, there's been a host of other things going on around the farm which will be shared in upcoming videos, as well as getting ready for harvest in this video. 850 is a great tractor. I sure do like it. Clean, nice, already done cab. Looks like brand new inside. And one thing, it's not 50 series, but 55, we can twist back and forth. Because I took the seat out of 55, or the lower suspension parts. These older tractors did not have a PTO speed, so they just had a mark right there where you run it up as your stop. These newer machines with the IVTs and everything electronic are sure nice, but they're much more complicated. We're on the 11th gear. We still have miles per hour right there, 7.2 mile an hour. Tractor's running awesome. Big front tires out there. Sure do like this tractor. Grew up around these. One of my favorite series. Actually, this is probably my favorite collectible. I don't know. It's not my favorite John Deere in the sense of functionality, but I definitely have a soft spot for it. Intake, tile up there. This is all going to row crop. You guys will watch transformation continue, not begin, because it began with tiling, but continue in a series of upcoming videos. John Deere 567, not your average 567, because got the floater tires on it. Big suck hole there, broken off intake, fixed all that. This is the home place. Originally down this grass drive was a separation of a different farm. This was the home farm. Now the other end was another farm. All been put together over the years. It will all be farmed as one unit. This is final cut for the alfalfa out here. Very thin, but not a bad stand, just had no water. So there's just not much here. This is, of course, the 4850, and this is a 567 again, so you got a early launcher here. Early pickup. I just threw the loom in here, and you gotta get these wires tied a little bit. Yeah, working pretty good. And you're seeing the maiden voyage of a W008 Frontier 8-wheel hay rake. This is a new rake, brand new and new to us. It's a small and conservatively priced rake, or conservatively priced by today's standards. It's for the most part a pretty good little rake, but we did have to add some cylinder depth stops. I was trying to highlight here the little stops that you use when you fold the rake, but you can't get in and out every time you have to end the row, so we're not quite sure. In the book, it was very vague. The wings kind of have a tendency to collide, so we just add some cylinder depth stops, which made it fold a lot better, but I kind of feel that's an oversight upon architectural design. This little rake's basically a very modern day version of a John Deere 702, which was one of the cheaper, more conservative rakes of their time era. As far as the raking quality, it does a real good job. You guys are seeing me break it in here. Had to work a few things out and adjustments on it, but it works pretty nice. We are not ending our hay operations, but we are definitely cutting it back. It will be nothing more than borders and waterways going forward, with the hay fields being transformed to row crop, which seems to be the common theme with multiple neighbors, and other people around the area are doing the same thing. I even see some CRP coming out in our area, which is not good for the long range of commodities markets. That's what happened during the last time corn was $7. It flooded the market. But this little rake will be narrower for those narrow place applications. The other rake was the Kuhn SR112, which was a superior rake after having used both side by side. This little rake will work well though, and we don't have much invested into the baler or a rake, and we already had the disc mower. Additionally, we are getting a couple rotary cutters that will clean up the rest. And now we have a chance to view them here in the building. This is the John Deere 567 baler, and this is the rake. It's a WR00008. Right there on the hitch, you can see the model number, and I'm not sure who builds these, but I do know they're sold in Rhino under a different paint scheme, but the exact same rake. Pretty nice little rake. It's brand new. It'll work great for what we need it for. And the baler is older, but we did kind of wax it up with some nice soap I bought, and it really shines quite nicely. I'm pretty impressed with the baler. And it's got the big tires on it. Basically a 567 and a 568 are the same balers, except the 567 had the older, smaller tires, and they were mega wide instead of mega wide plus, which is basically just the roller baffle. So good baler. Starter roll is shot in it. It's working fine for right now, but they did throw us in a brand new starter roll as part of buying it. Oh, they also updated the drive chains inside for size. But good rake, good baler. Pretty happy with it. It'll work out great for what we need it for on a limited hay business. And I have my 285 disc mower, which I'm going to put some new blades on. And it needs cleaned up, but good mower. So we're set, and the rest will be rotary cutters, which are not here now. I think it's 5 to 5.5 month wait, they said, which is fine. So it'll be here for next year. But what we're worried about right now is getting ready for harvest. Some guys are already out rolling, but we got maybe half a day's work here to do on stuff, and that's just basically adjustments. But get the cart set up here today, and if you can hear in the background, it's very windy out, which is bringing the moisture content down on the commodities. This 1196 is a new cart, but it's in previous videos, so not anything new this year. Simple operation here. Truck, cart, combine. Try to dial it down. That is new. That was weight. We had to wait on that to get. If I zeroed out, it'd say 0, but that's your scale reading, so you can see it from the combine. Very handy. I like it. We're just getting everything ready to go here. This is a Brent 1196 grain cart. This was here last year too. If you guys look back in the videos, quite a bit to put on these carts to get them ready to go for the season. This one in particular, because anybody that follows the channel knows I like options. So this one in particular has a lot of options. So we got a hydraulic jack option out here. So we got lines going to it. We got an electric roll tarp option. So we got an electrical plug going here. Luckily we do hardwire the tractors. Then we have an array of plugs here, which are going to go up into the cab, or the cab will come back to them for the joystick control, as all the auger and spout are on a joystick control, which you'll see here next. Okay, we got the harnesses in. Last year when we set this up, Brent gives you this. It's literally just like a CB mic holder, and I made this little arm that goes down here to the armrest, so I'll just literally put that on there, tighten it up, sits in there good. You got the coils of wires, reach over, grab it. Up here we have the tarp, and you can roll that back and forth. I need to get a couple zip ties yet, but everything's through the back window, and everything's coiled up. Now, I did utilize, again, what they had sent, so what I wanted to do was make it, I didn't want to integrate it, because just in case you need to use a different tractor, but I didn't want to integrate it. But I did just coil up the wires to the right length, so they sit nice and neat on the floor behind the seat. And when you go to put them in, they are already bundled up, and they're already nice and neat and clean. And plug and play, plug and play, plug it and play it in the back end. And our grain cart's hooked up. Quick and easy, I like it. So next up will be this combine. Okay, over here in the combine we need to change the concave, and then we need to go through some fluids, which should have all been changed and should be in good shape because all the fluids and filters were changed. But you just never know. It doesn't hurt to go back through and look everything over one last time. But we are going to be putting this concave in as a front section. This is a convex concave. When the convexes are a half concave, they bolt together with the max thresh elements. These are available factory through John Deere, and it's a reasonable priced alternative to using other brands. I know I get a lot of comments, guys saying you should buy the XPRs. Those are like $11,000 a set, and I've heard good and bad things about them. Personally, I think John Deere should have redesigned their rotor, but we can talk about combine design and architecture in other videos. We kind of touched on that last year, and I left off on the subject. But again, we'll replace the front element there. The factory round bars are just not as good as that over there on the floor, so that helps. But yeah, I feel that there should be some design redo to the whole John Deere threshing system here. So we got to do that and adjust it, and again we'll go through a few things and we should be good to get started. A lot of new parts in this machine. I think we're sitting in good shape with it, so time to get rock and roll. And for the people that do suggest the condexes, I can drop our address in the link below if somebody wants to sponsor them or give me a set. I'll gladly use them, but I'm probably not going to go on a limb and buy them. We did do a new chopper pan. There was all new chopper knives that were in there, so chopper's 100% rebuilt, as well as many other things in the machine. So I think we're sitting in good shape. Cart's hooked up. We got a truck to haul grain. Pretty simple, condensed operation going on here. Here we have a project. This is a Great Dane 34-foot trailer. This is what they call a forklift trailer because it has it's used for like lumber yards. Very, very heavy duty trailer, and they got those little weird forklifts that actually fork themselves up into the holders there, then pick themselves up and latch. But that probably could come off. Well, we just wanted the shorter trailer. This is a water/herbicide spray trailer that we're building. We just basically used the tank this year because we couldn't even get the ejector. It was on back order for months, but the Great Dane trailer was a good buy, I felt. It's a pretty nice trailer. Its original paint's like a 1997, I think. But very happy with the trailer. And the tank I was able to buy used. That tank is 3,200 gallons, so 3,200 gallons of water. We have enough room up here on the deck for the inductor system, as well as totes. Now, again, this stuff's just sitting here. We just kind of used the tank this year for water storage and limp through the year because we couldn't get a lot of these parts. But now that winter is going to be coming, this is going to be a winter project, and I'll take you guys along for the ride here when we actually build this into a functioning truck where we can run down the road. We had an old C50 Chevy that housed a small tank, but that tank actually went bad, so we were able to do this and make a little upgrade here. And going to work out well because we can just utilize the trucks to pull it, and if we go forward to a farm or whatever, we can haul water over to it. Seems like a pretty good setup that will allow us to tender the sprayer a little quicker and easier. And speaking of seed tenders, or tenders in general, we did pick up this Patriot seed tender. This is a Patriot 220. Came off an old man that was going to be slowing down on farming. Very nice seed tender. It's not your high-end J&Ms with their scale systems and everything else, but it is remote controlled to the engine. It is 220 units, which would be about 180 actual bushels. But for our operation and for what this cost, which was very, very minimal compared to one of those big J&Ms, and for basically a pretty new seed tender, and by the way, in the right color, I'm quite content with it. So as you can tell, lots of projects going on. Harvest is gearing up, and there's another project we've been working on. It was kind of a little bit unexpected, but it'll work out fine in the long run, I believe, through some trials and tribulations there, but we'll talk about that in an upcoming video. Harvest right around the corner, guys. If you're out there harvesting, be safe, be happy, and hopefully you had some decent yields this year. I know a lot of people were stung pretty good with the drought. we'll see how it is once we get out there. I'm actually going to go moisture test some right now and see where we're at, and maybe think about getting started here in another week. But thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.